New images, really spectacular stuff of our successful anti-ballistic missile test in the Pacific. But will the development of this defense system be perfected before the North Koreans have the capacity to put a nuke on the tip of a missile? There's the hit. Here now, Chris Harmer, Institute for the Study of War, senior naval analyst. So, Chris, it's a great success. We're all applauding the success of our military in pulling this off, but it still only has about a 50% success level. It's far from perfected. Will the North Koreans figure out how to get a nuke on top of one of their ICBMs before we perfect our testing?
Well, we're never going to get to perfection. There's no weapon system in the history of mankind that's ever been quote-unquote perfect. So the way you get around that is to say, if we have a 50% chance of intercepting one of their missiles, we just then program that we're going to shoot 6, 8, 10 missiles at each individual missile of theirs. The problem with that, of course, is we then run out of missiles before they do. So the reality is North Korea has a basic ballistic missile program that they are trying to expand to an advanced ballistic missile program. They've got a basic nuclear weapons capability that they're trying to expand to an advanced weapons capability. We've had a very permissive environment for the last 65 years with North Korea. They've been off in their little crazy land up there. Now they're expanding their range out past that, and we're going to have to deal with it in short order.
Israel has this thing called the Iron Dome, and of course that's not 100% successful either, but they combine that with all their other stuff. And I'm wondering, in addition to this anti-missile technology that we've been developing, we also try as best as we can to hit their missiles before they can take off, right?
Yeah, so the only way you really deal with a threat like North Korea is with a preemptive strike.
Right.
Because they're so crazy, and I use that term with all due respect, nobody knows what the North Korean decision-making process is. Nobody knew on December 6th, 1941, that the Japanese were going to attack on December 7th. Nobody really knows what the North Koreans are up to, and they're really putting themselves in a very bad situation where our only response is going to be we have to hit them with Tomahawk cruise missiles before those missiles are capable.
I never want to hear you again use the phrase "with all due respect" when talking about these guys. They don't deserve any respect from you or anybody else. Meanwhile, there is devastation in Afghanistan. At least 90 people killed, hundreds more injured, following a massive truck bombing in what is considered a highly secure area in Kabul. Nearly a dozen of those injured were American citizens. Of course, kids were involved. The violence coming as President Trump weighing options on whether to send more troops. Will he do it, Chris?
I don't know whether he will or he won't, but we need to if we want to continue momentum against ISIS and the Taliban. Look, the problem we have in Afghanistan is we are fighting a multi-generational war. I don't think the American public quite understands that. We should look at this war with the same level of commitment we looked at the Cold War. This is a 40-year war for us. If we don't help the Afghan government, then the Taliban and ISIS will defeat them.
Chris, a 40-year, we had more reason, we had more skin in the game, if you will, in Europe in the Cold War than we do in Afghanistan. I mean, it's a crazy place. They're tribal going back 2 centuries or 2 millennia. I mean, we really don't have as much of a reason to be in there as we did in Europe during the Cold War.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to disagree with you there, because what we cannot afford is to allow safe havens for terrorist organizations that are dedicated to attacking us. If we were dealing just with the Taliban, who have no interest in international jihad, but simply near jihad, that would be one thing. Unfortunately, we're also dealing with Al-Qaeda and ISIS that are committed to conducting more attacks.
But December 2001, we went in there with a few dozen special forces guys, and we knocked out the Taliban. They came back, of course, but that's what we do. We go in. That's my opinion. Very quickly, go ahead.
Got it. Yeah, I just think that the Afghan government is making progress slowly but surely. The Afghan society is making progress slowly but surely. It's very easy to say, yes, they live in a stone age, let them dwell there. The problem with that is that problem always gets worse unless we're willing to help. It's one of the responsibilities of being the lone superpower in the world.
It is like whack-a-mole. It drives you nuts. Chris Harmer, thank you very much. Melissa.
Thank you.